Hello everyone. We are a team from State University of Surabaya, or we call it as Universitas Negeri Surabaya, with the four lecturers and two students that will present about the resilience of Islamic Bank in Indonesia during the COVID-19. For whole this section, we will talk about the impact of a macroeconomic condition on Islamic Bank, assessing the resilience of Indonesia Islamic Bank, and also the last part implication for economic recovery. In the first section, we talk about the impact of macroeconomic condition on Islamic bank. So the intermediation function of the banking industry, including Islamic banking, is crucial for the economic situation. However, the function is susceptible to the volatility of macroeconomic situation as shown in the earlier study. So the article seeks to examine the durability of Islamic bank in the face of macroeconomic condition, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. The bank's resilience is assessed by evaluating various indicators such as non-performing finance, or we call it as NPF, financing to deposit rate ratio (FDR), capital adequacy ratio, and net operating margin. Meanwhile, the macroeconomic rate is assessed using indicators such as economic growth, interest rate, inflation, and exchange rate. The findings indicate that Islamic banks demonstrate a considerable level of resilience to macroeconomic factors with an exception of their profitability. The ability of Islamic bank to withstand the impact of other macroeconomic factors also demonstrate the potential to contribute significantly to economic recovery of Indonesia following the COVID-19 pandemic. So study offer useful perspective on the ability of Islamic Bank in Indonesia withstand and recover from the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. So, from the previous research findings, previous research has analyzed the ability of Islamic banks to withstand changes in macroeconomics condition. So, the hypothesis of this study: Islamic bank in Indonesia are not resistant to changes in macroeconomic condition during the COVID-19 pandemic. This study examined the temporal variation of variables and the sensitivity of Islamic banks' performance to changes in the overall economic using quantitative technique and Granger non-causality test analysis. The study used 48 monthly data points from January 2018 to December 2021. Of course, the operational variables include the Islamic institution and the macroeconomic situation. In the section 2, we talk about the assessing the resilience of Indonesian Islamic Bank. The findings reveal that Islamic banks demonstrate short-term resistance to macroeconomic change with the exception of profitability. So the norm and ROA of Islamic banks are influenced by economic growth and exchange rate, whereas macroeconomic variables have a little short-term effect on their solvency. The impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the profitability of Islamic bank has potential, with a decrease in economic growth indicating a reduction in economic activity. So, in the part of exchange rate impact, the profitability of Islamic institution in Indonesia has been negatively impacted by COVID-19, with both the ROA and NOM reacted adversely to exchange rate variable disturbances. So, in this section, we conclude that Islamic banks in Indonesia continue to exhibit short-term resistance to macroeconomic change despite the COVID-19 pandemic. The findings have implications for future research and robustness of specific Islamic commercial banks in Indonesia in the face of macroeconomic volatility. In the section 3, we talk about the implication for economic recovery. Based on the policy implication, the findings have implication for policymakers in advancing the financial gain of Islamic Bank in Indonesia, particularly regarding their financial resilience and potential contribution to the country's economic recovery. The study banks resilience to other macroeconomic variables demonstrate that positive the potential to significantly contribute to Indonesia's economic recovery subsequent to the COVID-19 pandemic. The study offers insight into the ability of Islamic Bank in Indonesia to withstand and recover from the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, demonstrating the capacity to adjust to evolving economic circumstances and the commitment to Sharia principles. The incorporation of Islamic Bank resilience and message into school curricula serve as a critical tool for educating future generation about financial resilience and economic recovery. So initiative to cultivate emerging leaders reflect ongoing commitment to nurturing the next generation of advocates and leaders in a spirit of Islamic banking resilience. So the resilience of Islamic Bank in Indonesia has implication for the country's economic recovery post COVID-19, emphasizing the importance of continued engagement and leadership development for society progress. So we've also put the another hope, another conclusion about the legacy of leadership programs. Thank you very much.